Good morning, dear students. My name is Mamadou Kali Diallo. I'm an in-service teacher trainer at CRFP Dakar. Today we're going to see a communication lesson about making, refusing and accepting suggestion. Two friends, Amadou and Jean, are trying to do something together. So how can they agree on something to do? Yes? They're going to propose. Okay. Do you have another word for propose? Yes. Yes? Suggestion. All right. That's great. They are going to make suggestions. Now, if you are with your friend and then he makes a suggestion and you don't think that the idea is a good idea, what do? So you can refuse it, okay, or decline it. But now when you decline, you should give a reason why you decline and also propose something else. Now, once one of the two friends propose an idea that the other one think it's a good idea, that person, what should the person do? Then the person should accept the suggestion. All right, now let's try to listen to their conversation. Now, you're going to notice while listening to the conversation how Amadou and Jean are making, refusing, and accepting suggestions.
Hi Amadou, would you like to do something with me this weekend?
For sure, brother. What should we do?
I don't know. Do you have any ideas?
Why don't we go and see a movie?
And that sounds good. Which film?
Let's see Action Man 4.
I would rather not. I don't like violent films. How about going to The Last Black Man in San Francisco? I hear it's a great film.
Okay, let's go see that. When is it on?
It's on at 8 p.m. at Place du Souvenir. Shall we have a bit to eat before the film?
Sure, that sounds great. What about going to that new restaurant? It's not far from the cinema.
Great idea. Let's meet there at 6.
Okay, I will see you at 6. Bye, brother.
All right, now that we have listened to their conversation, okay, you are going to read the dialogue again, and you are going to fill in the table below with the phrases in bold about making suggestion, refusing, and accepting suggestion. What is in bold? In bold, maybe in French you could say, un caractère gras. So let's see the table. So this is the table you're going to fill in by reading the dialogue. So let me check if you know exactly what I'm asking you to do. So what should you do first? Okay, great. Read the dialogue. And when you finish reading the dialogue, what should you do? Fill in the table with what? Yes, phrases for doing what? For making, refusing, and accepting suggestions. Okay, great. Now go ahead. You have 5 minutes. Now let's check, okay, if you got the right answers. Okay, you check now if you got the right answers. Great. Who's got them all? Musa, you've got them all, so great. Good job. Now let's try to find out more phrases or expressions about making, refusing, and accepting suggestions, this time with examples. So for making suggestion, what if plus verb, example, what if we consider another venue for the lunch? You could also use I think we plus modal verb plus verb. Example, I think we should order now. Or maybe We plus modal verb plus verb. Maybe we could invite Aminata next time. Or let's plus verb. Let's go to a party after the film. You could also use why don't we plus verb. Example, why don't we come back next week? Or how about, or what about, plus verb plus ing. Example, how about ordering dessert now? Now, for refusing, you can also use, your suggestion sounds good, but, okay? Because sometimes a person can propose something, the idea is good, but there is a problem. So you could say, the suggestion sounds good, but, and then you give the reason why there is a problem. You could also say, that's a good idea, but same. I'd rather not. No, let's not. I don't feel like it. I don't really feel like it, to be honest. I'm not really sure or convinced. I don't think this would work. Now, if you think your friend now has given a good suggestion and you want to accept, you could use why not. Yes, I'd like to, I'd love to. What a good idea. That sounds like a good idea. Yes, with pleasure. That's not a bad idea. This is just what we need. Okay, yes, let's, we have more than this even. The list is not exhaustive. We have more expressions and phrases for making, accepting and refusing suggestion. Now, let me give you an assignment, okay? So imagine that it's Saturday afternoon. You and your friend don't go to school. Find something to do together. So write your conversation. Now use words and phrases to make, accept, and decline suggestions as we've seen throughout the lesson. Okay. You can also take the Kahoot quiz challenge if you want by clicking the link below. You'll find here the game and then play it. It will be active until April the 30th. Okay. So thank you, dear students, for following this lesson. Please do the assignment I've given you. We will correct it next time. You can also ask questions through the forum. Okay. Well, see you next time with a new video lesson on how pandemics spread. Okay, bye.
Hello, dear students, dear parents. My name is Aminata Tle. I'm the technical advisor from the Ministry of Education. We are still with you in the framework of the response to the COVID-19 by the Ministry of Education. Today, we have two outstanding guests. On my right, Mr. Tambangom, National Pedagogic Coordinator at the Ministry of Education. Hello, Mr. Ngom.
Hello, Aminata.
On my left, you have Dr. Mao Sam, a teacher trainer at CRFPE, Dakar. Hello, Dr. Sam.
Hello, dear Aminata.
Good. So before we go any further, we would just like to remind you of the recommended measures against the COVID-19. Right? Okay. We are still on this Canal Éducation in the framework of the Apprendre à la Maison program. We've just watched a lesson on how to make, accept, and decline suggestions. We hope you've enjoyed the lesson, and we are going to welcome some questions. Thank you very much.
My name is Usman Fall and I am from Fatik. My question is, when making suggestions, do we always have to use questions?
Thank you, Usman. If I may repeat the question, Usman wants to know if when making suggestions, we always have to ask questions. Can I give you the floor, Mr. Ngom?
Yes, thank you very much, Aminata. Thank you for inviting us. Hi, Dr. Mawa. I'm very pleased to share this session with you guys. Good morning or good afternoon to parents and learners. We are very pleased today to share with you the debrief of the lesson on how to make, decline, or accept suggestions. Yes, and the learner from Fatick has put a very relevant question. It means he understands the meaning of the lesson. And just to answer, I would say not necessarily do we need to ask a question while making, declining, or accepting a suggestion. Because if I take this context, today it's cold. I can say, I suggest that we go to the beach because it is not so cold. I can also say, I propose we turn on the split, or even we could go outside or something like that. So it means you have a lot of ways of making suggestions. So we do not need just to ask questions while making suggestions. Aminata.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ngor. Dr. Sam, do you have something to add?
I would agree with Tamba what he's just said, because when making suggestions, students can ask questions, but it can be also in another form. Because when I go to the restaurant with friends and somebody proposes fish, I could say, so we could go for some meat today because yesterday we had fish. So, and then there are various ways we can use to express, and make suggestions in English. And because students should know that we are using the language to communicate, and communications can be done in different ways. Okay. This is what is very important. And we should not really not stop exclusively to the grammar level, but we need to expand, in our register.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sam. Thank you, both of you. So to sum it up, we can use both questions and affirmative sentences to make, accept, and decline suggestions. Thank you very much. Question? Can we have another question?
My name is Memunasi and I am from Raniro. My question is, how useful is it to be able to make, decline, and accept a suggestion?
All right, so to repeat, thank you very much, Maimuna from Ranero. Dr. Sam, can I give you the floor?
So thank you, Aminata, because we're talking about communication. When it's about communication and when a person asks a question, then when you ask me to go with you to the restaurant, I say, could I go with you to the restaurant? I say yes. It's a bit abrupt. Yeah. So we need to use really politically correct language, because when even you accept, could I offer you tea, Tamba? You need to accept politely. You accept, but you say, yes, please. And when you decline, you cannot just say no. So you can say no, thank you, or no thanks. So this is the level of the language. That's why it's important when we are accepting, when we are declining, to use politically correct language. And that politically correct language, you have also, if we take the comparison, when we talk, even when teenagers speak, the talk they are conveying is different when they are speaking to adults. Sure. Because when teens are talking, they could say, we got to bounce. Yeah. We got to meet the crew. Definitely. So, and the father say, what are you talking about, Musa? He say, oh, we have to go, Dad. we need to go and meet our friends. So you see the levels of the language, it's also important. And even when making suggestions and when you accept, you decline, you need to use really correct language.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sam. Mr. Ngom,
Yes.
Can we hear from you?
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much, Aminta. Yes, I do share Mawa's viewpoints on the different form of declining, accepting, and making suggestions. Yes, you know, as he said, while communicating, we should not always do exactly how we like it or how we feel it, but we have to take into account, okay, people's humors and everything. We should show a certain respect to people. So, and any suggestion, you know, meet a positive answer. It can be a no answer. It can be also a yes answer. And as he said, the no can be polite. The answer, the yes also can be enthusiastic, right? So if I say yes, he suggests me, for instance, to go to the beach because I love going to the beach. I say, I'm sorry, Mawa, I would love to go, but today I'm a little bit busy. So I decline, but I show it in a polite way. The second thing is, if he makes me some suggestions, and I would like to say yes, I don't want to say yes, just, you know, okay, I'd love to go. Wow, Mawa, yeah, it's a bright idea. That's brilliant. I would like to go. I would love to go. I'd love to go. So it shows not only that I accept, but I do it in a very enthusiastic way. So I think those things, as he said, is very important while communicating. We should take into account how pleased we should make people we are addressing, and also to if we have to say yes, no, we should not frustrate them either. So I think it's very important the use of making suggestions here, and I think it will help our learners, be it in their written task or in their oral task, because it is always good in terms of learning, you know, to use those elements that are very, very important in language practice.
Okay,
and maybe,
thank you very
Aminata,
much.
I could come in here and say that now, in the modern languages, people now more and more use these aspects of the language, which is when you communicate to use functions and notions of the language, because people now more and more put the stress on that, because we used to focus on grammar translation, but now more and more people put a special emphasis on communication, how to communicate appropriately, when you say yes, when you say no, when you accept, when you refuse. Oh, I would love to. It's my pleasure. So, and it's important, I think, at this level.
In other words, two main things to bear in mind in this, about this question. Number one, what matters more is not the no reply. It's not the no answer, but how you say no. Politely, not offending or shocking or frustrating anybody. Number 2 point to bear in mind, accepting a suggestion should be specific. You should say it with enthusiasm, but also specifying why it's a good idea to go somewhere or to do something. Thank you very much.
Yes. Maybe the other thing is, I used to say in the past, but I still believe in it. That school is the society in miniature, and we are training maybe some leaders of tomorrow. And most of the time, the leaders, they distinguish themselves out of the speech sometimes. For instance, you can see somebody who maybe speaks well, who is very fluent, but because he doesn't use very well the functions and notions and stuff, his speech is not attractive. while someone else who speaks maybe less fluently, but using those notional functions that show respect, yes, his speech can be more attractive. So yeah, I think, yes, the how, as you say, is very important in whatever we say.
Yes. Thank you very much. More questions? Okay, so thank you very much, dear students, for participating. And we hope you'll be more present in the coming lessons, and see you very soon. And remember the recommended measures about COVID-19. So thank you, Mr. Ngom. Thank you, Dr. Sam,
Thank you,
for coming
Aminata.
and for your participation. Thank you very much.
And maybe we can also...
Yes, and
thank you.
let me just
Thank you.
remind you.
All right.
All right, thank you very much.
So dear students, remember to stay at home and watch us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.